thanks for everybody for joining for another episode of Doki Doki. Yeah, okay. The festival's about to start. Did anybody want to voice the main character, or I'll just voice them? Anybody want to swap roles this time?
I think it's all you today.
It's the day of the festival. Of all days, I expected this to be one where I'd be walking to school with Sayori. But Sayori isn't answering her phone. Consider going to her house to wake her up, but that's a little too much. And while the preparations for the event should nearly be complete, the banner Yuri and I painted dry is painted dry, and I gently rolled it up to take it with me. She sent me a pleasant text reminding me not to forget anything, and I reassured her. Funnily enough, I probably feel the same way as Natsuki about the event. More excited for it to be over so I can spend time with Sayori and Yuri. Sayori and Yuri at the festival. That's hard to say in the same sentence.
Tongue twister, yeah.
But knowing Monica, I'm sure the event will be great too.
Damn.
Whoa, you can't curse in school.
Was that the first one here? I don't know. That did not come out Minnesota at all. Ah, damn it. Let's see. Damn, this is harder than I thought it'd be. Thanks for being early.
Oh, it's me. That's funny. I thought at least Yuri would be here by now. Monica's placing little booklets on each of the desks in the classroom. Must be the ones she prepared that have all the poems we're performing. In the end, I found a random poem online that I thought Monica would like and submitted it. So that's the one I'll be performing.
I'm surprised I didn't bring Sayori with you. I guess she is turning Irish.
Should I do an Irish accent too? Or should I do a should we all switch accents? I feel like we gotta like make this less serious. I don't know if I could do a Scottish accent.
I mean, if you want to.
I'm surprised you didn't bring Sayori with you.
Wait, that's what I. Oh.
Is that Scottish?
It's sounds
yeah, but you
Scandinavian
stole
enough.
her line.
Oh yeah. Yeah, she overslept again. Oh, now I'm doing Minnesotan.
Yeah, but maybe you got the Minnesota down. I'll cover the Irish.
It's hard to like not unconsciously switch between them. Now that I think about it, because it's sort of like a similar pitch.
That's you.
That dummy. You'd think that on days this important she'd try a little harder. Say that, but I suddenly remember what Sayori told me yesterday. I suddenly feel awful knowing it's not nearly that simple for her. I only said it because it's that way I'm used to thinking. But maybe I should have gone to wake her up after all.
You should take a little responsibility for it, damn. I mean, especially after your exchange with her yesterday. You kind of left her hanging this morning, you know?
Exchange? Monica, you know about that?
Oh, of course I do. I'm the club president, don't you know?
Her eyes are so far apart. But I stammer, embarrassed. Did Sayori really tell her about it that quickly?
Turn Scandinavian in your inner monologue.
When he's flustered, he changes to accents. About how I basically turned down her confession? It makes me really seem like the bad guy here. But I'm the one who knows what's best for her. Jeez.
You jerk.
I got to mansplain her feelings. You don't know the full story at all.
Don't worry. I probably know a lot more than you think.
Bullshit. Eh? Monica's being as friendly as usual, but for some reason I felt a chill down my spine.
Hey, do you want to check out the pamphlets? They came out really nice. I have no idea what I'm doing now.
Ja. I grabbed one of the pamphlets laid out on the desk. Oh, they really did it. Something like this will really help people take the club more seriously.
Yeah, I thought so too.
I flip through the pages. Each member's poems neatly printed on its own page, giving it almost an professional feel. I recognize Natsuki and Yuri's poems from the ones they performed during our practice. What's this? I flipped to Sayori's poem. It's different than the one she practiced. It's one I haven't read before.
Oh, damn.
Well,
Okay.
all the other
Get out of my head, get out of my head, get out of my
Get
head,
out. Can I get a coffee while you're doing this one?
Get out of my head, 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 get out of my head.
Get out.
Get out of my head before I know what. Get out of my head before I do what I know is best for you. Get out of my head before I listen to everything she said to me. Get out of my head before I show you how much I love you. Get out of my head before I finish writing this poem. But a poem is never actually finished. It just stops moving.
Be a Linkin Park song.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Get out of my head, it's best for you. Listen to everything she said to me. Also...
By the way,
Are you
did
still
you turn
making
off the
songs?
music? Did you turn off the music?
No, Chester died, remember?
I know, but they can still make songs, right?
No, I think the meme died with Chester.
The meme? It's a band, bro.
Yeah, but I mean, Linkin Park is kind of a meme.
By the way, Corey, I'm not hearing any music from the game. Why
I think we turned it off, didn't we?
it's there. It's
I blame the game.
Oh yeah,
They ran out of DMCA free music for this scene.
yeah.
Oh, well, what's this? Reading the poem, I get a pit in my stomach.
Damn. What's wrong?
Mamma mia.
What? Oh no.
Where are we?
I don't know.
What country
I
are we
don't
in
know.
right now?
We're like that South Park episode where everybody's a mix of like Turkish, Arabian, every fucking culture possible. This feels completely different from everything else Sayori's written. But more than that, I changed my mind. I'm going to get Sayori.
What? All
It's
right.
too late.
Try not to take too long, okay?
Honest, what do you want? What do you want? I quickly leave the classroom.
Don't strain yourself.
Mom calls that out after me. I quicken my pace. What was I thinking? I should have tried a bit harder. Not a big deal, let's wait for her, help wake her up. Even the simple gesture of walking to the school makes her really happy. Besides, I told her yesterday that things would be the same as they've always been. That's all she needs. That's all I want to give her. I reach a house, I knock the door. There will be no articles. Oh wait, there was articles, never mind. Don't expect an answer, she's not picking up her phone either. Hey, stop biting me. Quit! He's like, what is this demonic possession?
Yeah, Adonis is just like, where is my owner right now? Who are you?
Who are you? Get
I
out!
recognize you on voice alone.
I opened the door, I let myself in. It might be breaking and entering, but we're just friends, you know? Sayori. She's a really heavy sleeper. I swallow. Can't believe I ended up doing this after all. Waking her up in her own house. Not more like something a boyfriend. Well, didn't you do that like the whole first like the whole part like of the beginning when you like the routine.
Going to her room though?
Wasn't the routine to wake her up every morning or something?
Kind of weird.
Yeah, I thought.
But what did he do before? Throw rocks at her window or something?
Yeah, like how do you normally go and wake her up?
Megaphone?
Yeah.
The phone? I don't know. Call.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah, maybe text her.
You
yeah.
gotta be more aggressive than that.
no,
You know, they might sleep through a phone.
If she's a heavy sleeper, phones don't work.
Wait. How do you wake up off humans before 11 a.m.? Like, how do you do that?
I don't. I just let him suffer the
I don't think that's
consequences.
possible.
Get stuck in the garage.
I let him suffer the consequences. I mean, we both suffer the consequences of our actions that way.
Oh my gosh.
In any case, it just feels right. Outside Sayori's room, I knock on her door. Sayori. Wake up, you dumbass. There's no response. Really didn't want to enter the room like this. And a breach of privacy.
She's gonna hang herself or something?
She really leaves me no choice. Gently open the door.
Oh my god!
I didn't want to die.
Wait, she's not dead, right?
Yeah, she's just trying to make herself taller.
Yeah, I think that's all it is.
Wait, what is this?
Yeah, what?
What's what?
What the hell?
The text in the background?
What the hell? What text? Is this one of them nightmares? It has to be. This isn't real. There's no way this can be real. Sayori wouldn't do this. She thought her height was perfectly fine. That's why I can't believe what my eyes are showing me.
Music
Say,
is
oh, you got
creepy.
down from there, you goof.
You Gobo, what you doing? I suppressed the urge to vomit. Just yesterday. Told Sayori I'd be there for her. Told her I know what's best and everything would be okay. Then why? Why was she gonna do this? How could I be so helpless? Would you quit? Leave me alone! He keeps scratching me, he's like, shut the fuck up. What did I do wrong? Turning down her confession. That must have been what put her over the edge. Her agonized scream still echoes in my ear. Why'd I do that to her when she needs me the most? Why was I so darn selfish? This is all my fault. Swarming thoughts keep telling me everything I could have done to prevent this. If I just spent more time with her. Walk to the school. Wait. Hold on, he closed the door on himself.
Music is interesting.
The cat's like, I'm out. No, it's like, I'm done with this.
Okay. Gave her what I know she wanted out of our relationship. Could have prevented this. I know I could have prevented this. Scroll the literature club. Or the festival. I lost my best friend. Someone I grew up with. She's done gone forever. Nothing I can do to bring her back. This isn't some game where I can reset and try something different. Only one chance and I wasn't careful enough. Now I'll carry this guilt with me till I die. Nothing in my life is worth more than hers. But I still couldn't do what she needed from me. And now, I can never take it back. Never. Never, never, never.
Is this predetermined or what?
I mean, life is predetermined, right?
Yeah, it was always my fate to be a weeb.
The game's over?
Wait. That was
What do you
it?
mean?
What? The game's over?
No, we're playing Doki Doki Literature Club.
Yeah.
Leave your assumptions at the door.
Wait, what
What
Wait.
is,
What's going
what
on?
is
What's that?
going on?
Yeah, let's just
We're playing
continue.
Doki Doki, okay?
Yeah.
The game had a little crash.
So
but
welcome
ask
to
Dave.
Yeah,
Doki
it's-
Doki Literature Club.
We're just playing the game now, okay,
It's a
guys?
game about game about poems. It's really adorable and cute.
I'm gonna hear you guys voice that.
I see an annoying. Wait, do we have to change accents because it's different route?
Wait, you were just gonna do your normal voice, right?
Oh, okay, I can do a normal voice, I guess. See an annoying girl running through from the distance, waving her arms in the air like she's totally oblivious to any attention she might draw to herself. That girl is ZR5967, my neighbor, and good friends since we were children. You know the kind of friend you'd see yourself making today, but it just kind of works out. You'd never see yourself make today, but it just kind of works out because you've known each other for so long. We used to walk to school together on days like this, but starting around high school, she would oversleep more and more frequently, and I'd get tired of waiting up. Oh, I guess we didn't wake her up. But she's gonna chase after me like this. I almost feel better off running away.
Dude, run.
However, I just sigh and idle in front of the crosswalk and let ZRSRSDETOBCYE catch up to me. It's an ordinary school day like any other. Mornings are usually the worst, being surrounded by couples and friend groups walking to school together. Meanwhile, I've always walked to school alone. I always tell myself it's about time I meet some girls or something like that. I have no motivation to join clubs. I'm perfectly content just getting by on the average while spending my free time on games and anime. It's always the anime club, but it's not like there'd be any girls in it anyway. The school day is as ordinary as ever, and it's over before I know it. I cut my things and stare blankly at the wall, looking for an ounce of motivation. Clubs. Really aren't any that interest me. Besides, most of them probably would be way too demanding for me to want to deal with. Guess I have no choice but to start with the anime club.
Damn. Oh.
Monica?
Oh my goodness, I totally didn't expect to see you here! It's been a while, right?
It's been a minute. Monica smiles sweetly. We do know each other well. Well, we do know each other. Well, we rarely talked, but we were in the same class last year. Monica is probably the most popular girl in the class. Smart, beautiful, athletic, basically completely out of my league. So having her smile at me so genuinely feels a little... What'd you come here for anyways?
I just for some supplies to use for my club. Do you know if there's any construction paper in here? Or markers?
Guess you could check the closet. You're in the debate club, right?
About that. I actually quit the debate club.
Really? You quit?
Yeah. To be honest, I can't stand all the politics around the major clubs. It feels like nothing but arguing about the budget and publicity and how to prepare for events. I don't know. I'm gonna go back to my bad whatever Swedish, whatever the hell I was doing before. It was funny. Let's see. I'd much rather take something I personally enjoy and make something special out of it.
Why don't you do a New Zealand accent?
Huh? Is this a New
What's
Zealand
a
accent?
New Zealand
No, do a
accent?
New Zealand accent. A Kiwi accent.
That's
Kiwi?
hard to.
It
That's
sounds
hard to do.
Australian, I
off
don't
the-
know.
I don't
That's
know.
hard
what
to
I'm
do. I
doing.
feel like
Give
if
an
I
example,
did that,
Andrew.
New Zealand
I
sounds
like
like Australian.
I'll link you guys to video or something.
I feel like I've tried it, and then I devolve into a British accent in the process.
New Zealand goes yes, yes. How are you doing? Hi. Like you the Kiwi accent goes a little higher pitch. Eh?
I guess I can try that.
Zach, do whatever feels right.
What club did you decide to join?
Actually, I'm starting a new one. A literature club.
Literature. That sounds kind of dull. How many members do you have so far?
It's kind of embarrassing, but there are only 3 of us so far. It's really hard to find new members for something that sounds so boring.
Well, I can see that.
But it's really not boring at all, you know? Literature can be anything. Reading, writing, poetry, anime, manga. I mean, one of my members keeps her manga collection in the club room.
What a degenerate. I mean, wait, really?
Yeah, it's funny, right? She always insists that manga is literature too. I mean, she's not wrong, I guess. And besides, a member's a member, right?
Did Monica say she?
Hey, damn! By any chance, are you still looking for a club to join?
I mean, I guess so, but...
In that case, is there any chance you could do me a big favor? I won't ask you to join, but if you could at the very least visit my club, it would make me really happy. Please?
Well, I guess I have no reason to refuse. Besides, how could I refuse someone like Monica? Sure, I guess I could check it out.
Ah, awesome! You're really sweet, damn, you know that?
Yeah, I know. It's nothing, really.
Shall we go then? I'll look for the materials another time. You're more important.
Unless today marks the day I sold my soul to Monica and her irresistible smile. I dejectedly follow Monica across the school and upstairs, a section of the school I rarely visit. Monica, full of energy, swings up in the classroom door.
I'm back!
Finally, there's more characters.
And I brought a guest with me. Anybody want to be girl one?
Oh, is that? Wait, who is girl one?
You're girl one, I guess.
Oh my god, I cannot keep up with this. A guest?
Seriously? You brought a boy? Way to kill the atmosphere.
Don't be mean, Natsuki. But anyway, welcome to the club, Dan.
All the words escape me in this situation. This club is full of incredibly cute girls.
So, let me guess. You're Monica's boyfriend, right?
What? No, I'm not.
Ski?
Girl with a sour attitude whose name is apparently Natsuki is one I don't recognize. Her small figure makes her look like a first-year student.
Anyway, this is Natsuki, energetic as usual. And this is Yuri, the vice president.
It's nice to meet you.
Yuri, who appears comparably more mature and timid, seems to have a hard time keeping up with someone like Natsuki. Yeah, it's nice to meet both of you.
So, I ran into Dan in the classroom, and he decided to come and check out the club. Isn't that great?
Wait, Monica! Didn't I tell you to let me know in advance before you brought anyone new? I was going to, well, you know.
Sorry. I didn't forget that, but I just happened to run into him.
In that case, I should at least make some tea, right?
Yeah, that would be great. Why don't you come sit down, Dan?
Girls have a few desks arranged to form a table. Yuri walks to the corner of the room and opens a closet. Meanwhile, Monika and Natsuki sit across from each other. We call her Monika.
Why?
Is this the correct pronunciation?
Yeah. It's like it's got a K in it, so clearly it's Japanese.
It's a ka. Monika.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Well,
I'm feeling awkward. I take a seat next to Monika.
So I didn't really plan on coming here. I know you didn't really plan on coming here, but to make sure you feel at home, right? Okay? As president of the literature club, it's my duty to make the club fun and exciting for everyone.
I'm surprised. I'm surprised there aren't more people in the club yet. It must be hard to start a new club.
You could put it that way. Not many people are very interested in putting out all the effort to start something brand new. Especially when it's something that doesn't grab your attention, like literature or visual novels. You have
That's
to
a
work
good
hard
point.
to convince people that you're both fun and worthwhile. But it makes school events like the festival that much more important. I'm confident that we can all really grow this club before we graduate. Right, Natsuki?
Well, I guess.
Natsuki reluctantly agrees. Such different girls all interested in the same goal. Monica must have worked really hard just to find these two. Yuri returns to the table carrying a tea set. She carefully places a teacup in front of each of us before setting down the teapot in the middle. You keep a whole tea set in the classroom?
Don't worry, the teachers gave us permission. After all, doesn't a hot cup of tea help you enjoy a good book?
Kinda want a hot cup of tea now.
Yeah, me too.
I guess.
Don't let yourself get intimidated. Yuri's just trying to impress you.
That's not...
Insulted, Yuri looks away.
I meant that, you know.
I believe you. Well, tea and reading might not be a pastime for me, but I at least enjoy tea.
I'm glad.
Yuri faintly smiles to herself in relief.
So, damn, what kind of things do you like to read?
Well, considering how little I've read these past few years, I don't have a good way of answering that. Manga, I mutter to myself, half joking. Natsuki's head suddenly perks up. Looks like she wants to say something, but she keeps quiet.
Not much of a reader, I guess.
Well, that can change. What am I saying? I spoke without thinking after seeing Yuri's sad smile. Anyway, what about you, Yuri?
Well, let's see.
Yuri traces the rim of her teacup with her finger.
My favorites are usually novels that build deep and complex fantasy worlds. The level of creativity and craftsmanship behind them is amazing to me.
Yes, just like this deep and complex game.
And telling a good story in such a foreign world is equally impressive.
Yuri goes on, clearly passionate about her reading. She seems so reserved and timid since the moment I walked in, but it's obvious by the way her eyes light up that she finds her comfort in the world of books, not people.
But, you know, I like a lot of things. Stories with deep psychological elements usually immerse me as well. Isn't it amazing how a writer can so deliberately take advantage of your own lack of imagination to completely throw you for a loop? I have said this exact sentence before. Anyway, I have been reading a lot of horror lately.
I read a horror book once. I desperately grasped something I can relate to at a minimal level. At this rate, Yuri might as well be having a conversation with a rock.
I'd expect that from you, Yuri. It suits your personality.
Oh, is that so? Really, if a story makes me think, or it takes me to another world, then I really can't put it down. Surreal horror is often very successful at changing the way you look at the world, if only for a brief moment.
I hate horror.
Oh, why's that?
Well, I just...
Natsuki's eyes dart over to me for a split second.
Never mind.
That's right. You usually like to write about cute things, don't you, Natsuki?
What? What gives you that idea?
You left a scrap of paper behind the last club meeting.
He's back.
It looks like you were working on a poem called...
Don't say it out loud. I give that back.
Fine.
Natsuki, you write your own poems?
Well, I guess sometimes. Why do you care?
I think that's impressive. Why don't you share them sometime?
No.
Natsuki averts her eyes.
You wouldn't like them.
Ah, not a very confident writer yet?
I understand how Natsuki feels. Sharing that level of writing takes more than just confidence. The truest form of writing is writing to oneself. You must be willing to open up to your readers, exposing your vulnerabilities and showing even the deepest reaches of your heart.
You've never said these lines before.
I feel like I did.
real quick, Aaron, since you don't have a character right now, do you want to take over for Monica? For Monica?
What do you mean she doesn't have a character? She has character 4.
I'm depressed about being dead. But if you want me to take over, I can. But I'm sad about being dead.
Who's dead?
What?
What is happening? I'm so confused.
Oh, I know what happened.
I can keep going if it.
Okay.
I know exactly what happened. Aaron Yeager time traveled and basically whispered his bullshit.
Aaron,
All right, we got
Sayori to die.
I don't know. Yeah, I also don't know what you're talking about. I've never watched this show you're referring to.
You never seen that meme that's been going around? I am Aaron Yeager.
Do you have writing experience too, Yuri?
Has there been one with him like preventing World War II?
You
Yeah,
mean World War
actually.
III, right?
Has there? I'm not
Oh, right.
surprised.
Yeah, I won't be surprised.
That's fun, that one.
Oh, maybe if you can share some of your work, you can set an example and help Natsuki feel comfortable enough to share hers.
I guess it's the same for Yuri. I'll sit in silence for a moment.
Hey, I just got an idea. How about this?
Natsuki and Yuri looks quizzically at Monica.
Let's all go home and write a poem of our own. Then next time we meet, we'll all share them with each other.
Oh God.
That way everyone is even. I mean, I thought it was a good idea.
Well, I think you're right, Monica. We should probably start finding activities for all of us to participate in together. I did decide to take on the responsibility of vice president, after all. I need to do my best to nurture the club as well as its members. Besides, now that we have a new member, it seems like a good step for us to take. Do you agree as well, Dan?
Hold on, there's still one problem.
What's that?
Now that we've reached the most important topic, I bluntly came forward with what's been on my mind the entire time. I never said I would join this club. Monica may have convinced me to stop by, but I never made any decision. Still have other clubs to look at, and I lost my train of thought. All 3 girls stared back at me with dejected eyes.
But...
I'm sorry, I thought...
Girls exchange glances before Monica turns back to me.
I guess I need to tell you the truth, Dan. The thing is, we don't have enough members yet to form an official club. We need 4. And I've been trying really, really hard to find new members. And if we don't find one before the festival...
I'm defenseless against these girls. How am I supposed to make a clear-headed decision like this? I would feel terrible letting everyone down in this situation. And besides, the club itself seems pretty relaxed. So if writing poems is the price I need to pay in order to spend every day with these beautiful girls? Right. Okay, I've decided then. I'll join the literature club. One by one, the girls' eyes light up.
Oh my goodness, really? Do you really mean that, Dan?
Damn right I do. Could be fun, right?
You really did scare me for a moment.
I mean, if you really just left after all this, I would be super pissed. Have my cookies, please.
Damn, I'm so happy! We can become an official club now! Thank you so much for this. You're really amazing. I'll do everything I can to give you a great time, okay?
Thanks, I guess.
Everything! Okay, everyone! I think with that, we can officially end today's meeting on a good note. Everyone remember tonight's assignment. Write a poem to bring to the next meeting so we can all share.
Monica looks over at me once more.
Damn, I look forward to seeing how you express yourself. Hee!
Hee hee!
Hee!
Yeah. Can I really impress the class star Monica with my mediocre writing skills?
Stop.
Feel the anxiety welling up inside me. While the girls chit-chat as Yuri cleans up the tea set. Guess I'll be on my way then.
Okay. I'll see you tomorrow then. I can't wait.
With that, I depart the club room and make my way home. The whole way, my mind wanders back and forth between the three girls. Natsuki, Yuri, and of course Monica. Will I be happy spending every day after school in the literature club? Perhaps I'll have a chance to grow closer to one of these girls. Alright, just need to make the most of my circumstances and I'm sure good fortune will find me. Guess that starts with writing a poem tonight.
What is happening?
What is what? What do you mean? You want like the special poem? Should we read it?
Yeah, totally. I mean,
Oh my god.
Happy
That's a
thoughts,
good
happy thoughts, happy thoughts.
So is it, instead of like getting a waifu, you're just slowly killing off all the waifus?
Hey, we didn't touch him.
Okay.
Did it to himself.
I don't see anyone missing. Do you?
Yeah, I just see a lot of extra margin.
Are we still? Yeah, it's like weird that they designed it this way.
Yeah.
So are we still gonna go for
Yuri route or Natsuki?
So the Yuri route isn't over?
I mean, it's as long. It goes as long as you want it to be.
I mean, I don't care if you guys want to do it. You can't do Monica?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah.
And Monica's still not
Is she
available.
Satan or something? What is happening? I'm so confused.
No.
Okay.
Don't worry
She's
about
not. She just does.
Okay.
She just doesn't like poems.
It's like one of those. You know how like there's some visual novels like where you have to play like all the girls to get like a different girl.
Oh.
Yeah, basically.
she's Ren in Dramatical Murder. I get it now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what that means, but sure, why not?
Zack knows. Zack and Aaron know.
But yeah, you can keep going Yuri, and you'll get a different route. I think still. I think you still get a different route if you go Yuri.
I mean, whatever you guys want to do. I know
Yeah.
I've been doing a lot of talking. So if Justin, I don't know. I don't care. I don't have a big preference.
I don't care either.
Yeah. I say we could just keep doing the Yuri route.
Okay, because I like the route. It's funny. I mean, not funny. It's good.
God.
And
What?
I don't.
disoriented
But
maybe.
all of these seem like Natsuki words. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, a little bit.
Time, maybe.
Rank
Disoriented.
Disoriented.
Starscape?
Yeah.
Steer.
Oh, rap?
Clumsy. Wait, what? Boop.
Disaster or graveyard?
Disaster?
Yeah,
Graveyard.
probably disaster.
Or graveyard. Yeah.
Flying maybe?
Electricity.
Electricity.
Valentine maybe? Oh no,
Frightening?
that's candy.
Prayer?
Prayer. Prayer. Landscape.
Misery.
Misfortune? Yeah,
Misery.
misery.
Anything that's 2 syllables is probably Yuri.
You mean more than 2 syllables?
Yeah, 2 syllables or more.
What
yeah.
about death? Death is 1 syllable.
Yeah.
You mean
Let's
D?
try it.
You mean
Let's test this right
Dite?
Dite. Horror, probably.
Kawaii.
Horror.
Hodo? Hodor?
Massacre.
Massacre? I think it's Massacre.
Melancholy?
Crime Son.
Crime Son? I like Crime Son. Or Melancholy.
Ribbone.
Melancholy looks pretty
Ribbone.
No.
Wait, where's Ribbone? Oh yeah, I
Ribbone.
think Ribbone.
Ribbone.
Oh nah, Ribbone
Damn
is the pink haired girl.
Okay.
These feet?
Oh.
The,
It took me a minute.
The, I like that one. These feet.
What about Climax?
Clinics?
Definitely clinics.
Kage. I definitely think it's Kage.
Kage? That would be
Judgment.
like the Japanese pronunciation.
Chocolate.
Heaven sent. Or
Marash Malo.
Yeah, Marshmallow sounds
I think
pretty
it
good.
is-
Nah, I think that's
that's
Natsuki
Image,
though.
right?
That's definitely Natsuki.
Yeah.
What about
I
bar
just wanna say
fight?
it.
Pain.
Funny.
Yeah.
Pain, yeah.
Doki Doki's probably
Depression.
Natsuki.
Or
Tragedy?
tragedy.
Tragedy, yeah.
Tragedy? Yeah. Tragedy sounds like a Yuri word.
Agonizing.
Yeah.
All right, we gotta get through this. This word thing is killing me.
This is agonizing.
Explode.
Sensation.
Incapable.
Oh, fantasy,
Tears,
fantasy.
tears.
I don't. Oh.
Incapable works.
Suicide or vivacious? Intellectual.
Oh yeah, that's it. I feel like we should probably have them all memorized by now.
I'm kind of curious what happens if you pick suicide. No.
I think
It's
we
never
picked
the
it last
answer.
time, didn't we?
Hi again, damn. Glad to see you didn't run away on us. Haha.
Don't worry. Oh god. Might be a little strange for me, but I at least kept my word. Well, I'm back at the literature club. I was the last to come in, so everyone else is already hanging out.
Oh god.
Thanks for keeping your promise, Dan. I hope this isn't too overwhelming of a commitment for you. Making you dive headfirst into literature when you're not accustomed to it.
Hold on. Oh, come on. Like he deserves any slack. You already had to be dragged here by Monica. I don't know you plan to just come here and hang out or whatever. But if you don't take us seriously, then you won't see the end of it.
Just covering the fucking text.
Natsuki certainly has a big mouth for someone who keeps manga in the something room.
Monica!
Natsuki finds herself stuck between saying Monika and manga.
Manga is literature!
Swiftly defeated, Natsuki plops back into her seat.
I'm sorry, Dan. We'll make sure to put your comfort first, okay?
Does anything
Yuri
seem
shoots
off
Natsuki
about...
with a disappointed glance. What?
Does anything seem off about the dust sale?
Is everything tilted? Everything
yeah,
seems
the
to
room
be...
looks like kind of tilted.
Oh my god.
It's kind of hurt. It's hard to look at, actually. I don't want to look at it. It hurts my head.
Pay it no mind.
Fine.
Anyway, now that you're in the club and all, perhaps you might have interest in picking up a book to read?
Well, I can't really
Oh
say
god,
no
now that
either
I
way.
noticed it, I'm nauseous looking at it.
Yeah,
It's
that's the problem for me
vertigo.
because
Oh, God.
I have a curved screen, so if I look at the whole left or right, it's kind of weird. Like you said, I'm in this club now, so it only feels right for me to do something like that if you ask. Just focus on the text.
Wait, I didn't mean it like that.
The woo.
Ooh, woo. If you don't really want to, then forget I said anything, I guess.
No, it's not that, Yuri. I want to try to be a part of this club. So even if I
man.
don't read often, I'd be happy to pick up a book if you wanted me to.
Look at the top of the screen. Just like keep looking at it for a while. If you can.
Are you sure?
ceiling coming off?
What?
The tiles. Is one coming, like...
No,
Look
I
at
think
Yuri's
those are the
head.
light fixtures. Dude, her
is
head,
happening?
like, is so out of place with the background. It hurts.
I just felt like, well, as vice president and all,
I guess it's just like in BNs. The character designs most of the time do not match the backdrops at all.
very true. That I should help you get started on something you might like.
Yuri reaches in her bag and pulls out a book.
I didn't want you to feel left out. So I picked out a book that I thought you might enjoy. It's a short read, so it should keep your attention, even if you don't usually read. And we could, you know...
I'm 99% positive the track is slightly, like, jank. Like, if you hear when the track repeats, it, like, kind of misses a chord.
Yeah, it's just like one.
It's like
subtle
one
chord. It's
chord, but I can tell it annoys me.
I'm just wondering, like, if we wait here forever, are we just gonna like zoom all the way in?
Discuss it if you wanted.
How is this girl accidentally being so cute? She even picked out a book she thinks I'll like, despite me not reading much. Yuri, thank you, I'll definitely read this. Enthusiastically take the book.
Oh. Well, you can read it at your own pace. I look forward to hearing what you think.
It's like the desks are about to just slide to the other side of the building.
Yeah.
Oh god! Ah!
I like how they shifted
You
back.
can't just do that, what the fuck? Now that everyone's settled in, I expected Monica to kick off some scheduled activities for the club. But that doesn't seem to be the case. Yuri's face is already buried in a book. I can't help but notice her intense expression like she's waiting for- Did you hear the chord?
I heard that chord.
Ah, okay.
Was another one.
It looped and it like missed a chord.
Yeah.
Like
definitely
she's
heard
waiting
that.
for this chant.
Purposely, is this meant to be disorienting? Like this whole
Yes.
thing is on purpose?
What do you mean? What's disorienting about it? Nothing is wrong.
Yes, everything is fine.
Everything is
Everything is
okay.
fine.
Blank stare. I was here rummaging around the closet, blah 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 blah. Curious to talk to Yuri, yeah, uh-huh. Anytime I feel distracting her for reading, yeah, uh-huh. Crep.
Are we doing the damn chocolate thing again?
She noticed me looking at her. I think that's the next day. She makes another glance at me, and so you can look forward to that for tomorrow. Then her eyes meet for a split second. It only makes her hide her face deeper in the book. Sorry, I was just spacing out. It'd be like overly dramatic when you talk to somebody. I mutter this, sensing I made her uncomfortable.
Oh. It's fine. If I was focused, then I probably wouldn't have noticed in the first place.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, that's so disturbing. That's so disturbing.
Own home.
She makes Monica's eyes
Yuri,
look
I didn't know you had a lazy eye.
Oh my god.
It just keeps going.
It's still moving.
It's flying away.
I feel like, is it moving? Am I going
Yeah, it's
crazy?
moving.
Oh my god.
No, nothing is wrong. Nothing is wrong.
And the rim's tilting a little bit, I think.
Nothing is wrong.
But I'm just rereading a bit of this, so...
That's the book that you gave me, right?
Hi.
I wanted
Oh.
to reread some of it. Not for any particular reason.
Just curious, how come you have two copies of the same book?
Well, when I stopped at the bookstore yesterday... that's not what I meant. I mean... I just happened to buy two of them.
Ah, I see. There's something fairly obvious here that Yuri isn't telling me, but I decided to let it go. I'll definitely start reading it soon.
I'm glad to hear. Once it starts to pick up, you might have a hard time putting it down. It's a very engaging and relatable story.
Is that so? What's the story about?
Well,
Look at the cover of the book. The book is titled Portrait of Markov. There's an ominous-looking eye symbol on the front cover.
basically, it's about this religious camp that was turned into a human experiment prison. And the people trapped in there have this trait that turns them into killing machines that lust for blood. But the facility gets even worse, and they start selectively breeding people by cutting off their limbs and affixing them to...
I don't remember that second part.
That's new. Oh, that might be a bit of a spoiler. But anyway, I'm really into it. The book, I mean. Not the thing about the limbs.
That's kind of dark, isn't it?
Book.
Yuri made it sound like it was gonna be a nice story, so the dark turn came out of nowhere.
Are you not a fan of that sort of thing, Dan?
No, it's not that. I can definitely enjoy these kind of stories, so don't worry.
I hope so.
Yeah, I totally forgot that Yuri was into these things. He's so shy and reclusive on the outside, but her mind seems to be completely different.
It's just that this kind of story... It's the kind that challenges you to look at life from a strange new perspective. When horrible things happen, not just because someone wants to be evil... God, but because the world is full of horrible people and we're all worthless anyway.
Oh.
I'm rambling, aren't I? Not again. I'm sorry.
Hey, don't apologize. I haven't lost interest or anything.
Well, I guess it's alright then. But I feel like I should let you know that I have this problem. When I let things like books and writing fill my thoughts. You're skipping over, I want to read it!
I didn't! It does it on its own!
Oh. I thought you were doing it. I was like, damn it, let me see what it said.
Nothing is wrong.
Look,
Nothing is wrong.
if I go to history, it's not there.
Oh my god, this is wild. I kind of forget to pay attention to other people. So I'm sorry if I end up saying something strange. And please stop me if I start talking too much.
That's... I don't think you need to worry. It just means you're passionate about reading. The least I can do is listen. It's a literature club after all.
Well, that's true.
In fact, I might as well get started reading it, right?
Yes!
You don't have to. Oh, that's you.
I mean, you don't have to, but...
What are you saying?
Uh...
Let me just get the book. I quickly retrieved the book that I put in my bag. Alright, it's fine if I sit here, right? Slip into the seat next to Yuri's.
Yeah.
Are you sure? You seem a little apprehensive.
That's... I'm sorry. It's not that I don't want you to. It's just something I'm not very used to. That is, reading in company with someone.
I see. Tell me if I end up distracting you or anything.
Alright.
Open the book and start the prologue. I understand what Yuri meant about reading in company. That is if I can feel her presence over my shoulder as I read. It's not particularly a bad thing. A little distracting, but sometimes it's somewhat comforting. Yuri is in the corner of my eye. I realize that she's not actually looking at her own book. I glance over. Looks like she's reading from my book instead.
Sorry.
Yuri, you really apologize a lot, don't you?
I do? I don't really mean to. Sorry. I mean...
Ha ha ha. Ah ha.
Oh, ha, 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 ha.
Here, this should work, right? I slide my desk until it's up against Yuri's, then I hold my book between the two of them.
I suppose so.
Yuri timidly closes her own copy. Once we lean in a little bit, our shoulders are almost touching. Feels like my left arm is in the way, so I use my right hand to hold the book open. I guess that makes it difficult to turn the page.
Here.
Yuri takes her left arm and holds the left side of the book between her thumb and her forefinger. Ah, I do the same with my right arm and the right side of the book. That way I turn the page and Yuri slides it under her thumb and after it flips to her side. But in holding it like this, we're huddled even closer than before. It's actually kind of distracting me. It's as if I can feel the warmth of Yuri's face and she's in the corner of my vision.
Are you ready?
Ara?
To turn the page.
Ah, sorry. I think I got a bit distracted for a second. I glance over at Yuri's face again and our eyes meet. I don't know how I'll be able to keep up with her.
That's okay. You're not as used to reading, right? I don't mind being patient if it takes you a bit longer. It's probably the least I can do. Since you've been so patient with me.
Yeah, thanks. We continue reading. Yuri no longer asks me if I'm ready to turn the page. Instead, I just assume she's finishes the page before me, so I turn it at my own volition. We continue the first chapter in silence. Even so, turning each page feels like an intimate exchange. My thumb gently letting go of pages, letting it flutter over to her side as she catches it under her own thumb. Hey Yuri, might be a silly thought, but the main character kind of reminds me of you a little bit.
No, I don't relate to this character at all. Definitely not.
Really? I'm just thinking, the way she second guesses things she says and all that.
That's what you were talking about. Sorry. I thought you meant something else about her.
Something else?
Never mind. We didn't even get that far yet. So I don't know why that came into my head.
Yuri, are you feeling alright? Yuri's been a little fidgety since we started breeding. You can rest if you're feeling sick or something. Your breathing's a little...
My breathing?
Yuri puts her hand on her chest as if to feel her heartbeat.
I didn't even notice. Anyway, I'm fine. I just need some water.
Alright, don't push yourself. Yuri stands up and practically rushes out of the classroom. What on earth was that about?
Damn? Did something happen just now?
Eh? I have no idea. Yuri was acting a little strange, I guess.
So you don't know anything?
Sorry, I can't say I do. Are you worried about her?
Oh, no, not really. I was just making sure that you didn't do anything to her.
No, nothing.
Haha, don't worry. I believe you, silly. Yuri just does this sometimes, so it's nothing alarming.
Alright, if you say so.
Anyway, why don't we start sharing our poems with each other?
Yeah? Shouldn't we wait for Yuri?
Well, she might be a while, so I just figured we'd get started without her. Is that okay?
Yeah, I was just asking. I stand up. I make a mental note of where I left off in the book, then slip it into my bag. Who should I show my poem to first? Told Natsuki I was interested in her poems yesterday. Only fair if I shared mine with her first.
Huh?
Whoa!
If you're not gonna take this club seriously, then go home.
Nothing.
What?
It was nothing.
Harsh.
I saw nothing.
No, no big deal. It's like happens in every visual
Why
novel.
you
see
why you acting
photorealistic
like my
bugs.
eyes? Why are you looking
pop
at me
out
like my
someone's
eyes got
Just
gouged out?
unintentional bugs in the
Yeah.
code.
Why do you
QA.
expect me to? Don't you think I'm stupid?
I'm not a writer. Maybe it's not very good, but yeah, I did put in effort. We all start somewhere, right? If you're still proud of your first poem you ever wrote, then I'd like to read it. Painful to think about?
Fine. Well, sorry. You'll get better anyway. I tell you what to improve, but you're better off just trying again.
Fair enough. Well, to each their own, I guess.
Anyway, I guess I gotta share mine now. Not you'll probably think you're stupid. Eagles can fly, monkeys can climb, crickets can leap, horses can race, owls can seek, cheetahs can run, eagles can fly, people can try, but that's about it. Yeah. I told you weren't gonna like it.
I like it.
But let's be honest.
I am. Why are you so convinced that I wouldn't like it?
Well, because everyone in high school thinks that writing has to be all sophisticated and stuff. So people don't even take my writing seriously.
Oh, I think the room's turning again.
Huh?
I think the room's turning again. Isn't the point of people's poems, or isn't the point of poems for people to express themselves? Your writing style wouldn't make your message any less valid.
Yes, exactly. I like when it's easy to read, but it hits you hard. Like in this poem. Seeing everyone around you do great things can be really disheartening. I decided to write about it.
Yeah, I understand.
Well, the other nice thing about simple writing is that it puts more weight on the wordplay. Like, I set up for a rhyme at the end, and I made it fall flat on purpose. It helps bring out the feeling in the last line.
So you did. I guess more went into it than I realized.
That's what it means to be a pro. I'm glad you learned something. Didn't expect that from the youngest one here, did you?
Yeah, I guess not. I decided to humor her with that last comment. I don't really care how old everyone is, but if Natsuki's feeling proud, then I won't take that away from her. Should I show my poem to next?
Hi, Dan. Having a good time so far?
Yeah.
Good, glad to hear it. By the way, since you're new and everything, if you ever have any suggestions for the club, like new activities or things we could do better, I'm always listening. Don't be afraid to bring things up, okay?
Alright, I'll keep that in mind. Of course, I'll be afraid to bring things up. I'm much better off just going with the flow until I'm more settled in.
Anyway, want to share your poem with me?
It's kind of embarrassing, but I guess I have to.
Haha. Don't worry, Dan. We're all a little embarrassed today, you know. But it's that sort of barrier that we'll all learn to get past soon.
Yeah, that's true. I hand Monica my poem.
Mm-hmm. Great job, Dan. Really good choice of words. I was going like, ooh, in my head while reading it. It's really metaphorical. I'm not sure why, but I didn't expect you to go for something so deep. I guess I underestimated you.
Easiest for me to keep everyone's expectations low. That's why, it always counts when I put in some effort.
That's not very fair. Well, I guess it worked anyway. You know that Yuri likes this kind of writing, right? Writing that's full of imagery and symbolism. Sometimes I feel like Yuri's mind is just totally detached from reality. I don't mean that like it's a bad thing though. But sometimes I get the impression that she's just totally given up on people. She spent so much time in her own head that it's probably a much more interesting place for her. Much more interesting. But that's why she gets so happy when you treat her with a lot of kindness. I don't think she's used to being indulged like that. She must be really starved for social interactions. Don't blame her for coming on a little strongly. Like earlier. I think she gets too stimulated. She ends up, if she gets too stimulated, she ends up withdrawing and looking for alone time.
Suddenly the door opens.
Yuri!
Nah,
back?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I'm back. Did I miss anything?
Not really. Well, we all started sharing our poems with each other.
Already? I'm sorry for being late.
No need to apologize. We still have plenty of time, so I'm more glad that you took all the time you needed.
All right. Thanks, Monica. I suppose I should get my poem now.
Anyway, do you want to read my poem now? Don't worry, I'm not very good.
Sound pretty confident for someone who claims to not be very good.
Well, that's because I have to sound confident. That doesn't mean I always feel that way, you know.
I see. Well, let's read it then.
Hole and wall. But he wasn't looking at me, confused. I frantically glanced at my surroundings, but my burned eyes can no longer see color. Are there others in this room? Are they talking? Or are they simply poems on flat sheets of paper? The sound of frantic scrolling playing tricks on my ears. The room begins to crinkle, closing in on me. The air I breathe dissipates before it reaches my lungs. I panic. There must be a way out. It's right there. He's right there. Swallowing my fears, I brandish my pen. Hold on. So, what do you think?
That was Wonderwall. It's very freeform, if that's what you call it. Sorry, I'm not really the right person to ask for feedback.
Haha, It's okay. Yeah, that kind of style has gotten pretty popular nowadays. That is, a lot of poems have been putting emphasis on the timing between words and lines. When performed out loud, it can be really powerful.
What's the inspiration behind this one?
Well, I'm not sure if I know how to put it. I guess you could say that I had some kind of epiphany recently. It's been influencing my poems a bit.
An epiphany?
Yeah, something like that. I'm kind of nervous to talk about deep stuff like that because it's kind of coming on strongly. Maybe after everyone is better friends with each other. Anyway, here's Monika's writing tip of the day. Sometimes when you're writing a poem or a story, your brain gets too fixated on a specific point. If you try so hard to make it perfect, then you'll never make any progress. Force yourself to get something down on the paper and tidy it up later. Another way to think about it is if you keep your pen on some spot for too long, you'll just get a big dark puddle of ink. Just move your hand and go with the flow. That's my advice for today. Thanks for listening.
Who should I show my poem to next? As Yuri reads the poem, I notice her eyes lighten.
Exceptional.
Yeah? What was that?
Did I say that out loud?
Yuri first covers her mouth, but then ends up covering her whole face.
Ooh woo. He's going to hate me.
You really didn't do anything wrong, Yuri.
Hey? That's... I guess you're right. What am I getting so nervous for?
Yuri takes a breath.
So, what kind of writing experience do you have? Your use of imagery and metaphors indicates you've written a lot of poetry before.
Really? That's a huge compliment coming from you. This is actually my first time, really.
Huh?
Yuri stares at me blankly, then looks at my poem again.
Well, I know that. I just meant,
Yuri trails off, unable to find an excuse. She traces her finger along the words in the poem as if breaking it down more thoroughly.
Massacre.
yeah. Okay. This is the reason I was able to tell. It's just that there are specific writing habits that are usually typical of new writers. And having been through that myself, I kind of learned to pick up on them. I think the most noticeable thing I recognize in new writers is that they try to make their style very deliberate. In other words, they tend to pick a writing style separate from the topic matter, and they form-fit the two together. The end result is that both the style and the expressiveness are weakened.
Once Yuri finds her train of thought, it's as if her demeanor totally changes. Her stammering is completely gone and she sounds like an expert.
Of course, that's not something you can be blamed for. There are so many different skills and techniques that go into writing even a simple poem. Not just finding them and building them, but getting them to work together is probably the most challenging part. It might take you some time, but it all comes with practice, and learning by example, and trying new things. I also hope that everyone in the club gives you valuable feedback. Natsuki can be a little biased, though.
Biased? How?
Well... Never mind. I shouldn't be talking about people like that. Sorry.
It's fine. I'm not sure if Yuri's apologizing to herself, to me, or to Natsuki. You mind if I read your poem now?
Please do. I'd love to share my thought process behind it.
Yuri smiles dreamily, as if it's a rare opportunity for her, which itself is kind of funny. After all, isn't this supposed to be a literature club?
Ghost under the light. The tendrils of my hair illuminate beneath the amber glow. Bathing. It must be this one. The last remaining streetlight to have withstood the test of time. The last yet to be replaced by the sickening blue-green hue of the future. I bathe. Calm, breathing air of the present, but living in the past. The light flickers. I flicker back. I'm sorry I have such terrible handwriting.
What? Wasn't thinking that at all.
But it took you a long time to read.
I can't read cursive. Well, I just don't read script very often. I actually think your handwriting's pretty.
Hey? That's a relief?
Also, I like the poem. Even though it's short, it's really descriptive.
It wasn't too short? I usually write longer poems.
Not at all.
I'm really glad you like it. I'll be honest.
To be honest, though,
Since it's our first time sharing, I wanted to write something a little more mild. Something easy to digest, I suppose.
are you in a ghost, Yuri?
Huh?
What? What does that even...
I don't know what that noise is.
I think the chocobo sound got it the closest. Or the Moogle sound.
Oh, it was a Moogle.
Yeah, I think it was the closest to it.
Actually, this story isn't about a ghost at all, damn.
Really? I must have totally missed the point.
Well, I suppose you did only glance over it after all. But remember that poets often express their own thoughts, feelings, and experiences in their work. They usually do more than tell a simple story or paint a picture. In this case, perhaps the subject of the poem is only being symbolically compared to a ghost. Lingering in her last remaining place of comfort, unable to let go of the past. And soon to be left with nothing.
It's a lot more solemn putting it that way. I hadn't even thought of that. That's impressive.
It's nothing, really. Yours was impressive too, so...
Nah, if anything, I could probably learn a thing or two from you.
You think so?
Yeah, of course.
You know... I was really nervous about doing all of this. But in the end, I enjoyed it. I'm going to keep doing my best for you, Dam.
Ah. Me too. Phew. I guess that's everyone. Glance around the room. That's a little more stressful than I anticipated. It's as if everyone's judging me for my mediocre writing abilities. Even if they're just being nice, there's no way my poems can stand up to theirs. It's a literature club after all. I sigh. I guess that's what I ended up getting myself into. Across the room, Monika is writing something in her handbook. My eyes land on Yuri and Natsuki. We gingerly exchange sheets of paper sharing their respective poems. As they read in tandem, I watch each of their expressions change. Natsuki's eyebrows furrow in frustration. Meanwhile, Yuri smiles sadly. Justin.
Okay, what's with the language?
Did you say something?
Oh, it's nothing. It's nothing.
Natsuki dismissively returns the poem to the desk with one hand.
I guess you could say it's fancy.
Thanks. Yours is cute.
Cute? You completely missed the symbolism or something? it's clearly about the feeling of giving up. I mean, how can that be cute?
Know that. I just meant the language, I guess. I was trying to say something nice.
Huh? You mean you have to try that hard to come up with something nice to say? Thanks, but it really didn't come out nice at all, Baka.
Oh, it's you.
Well, I do have a couple suggestions.
Huh. If I look at suggestions, I would ask someone who actually liked it. Which people did, by the way. Monica liked it. And Damn did too. So based on that, I've got to give you suggestions of my own. First of all...
Excuse me. I appreciate the offer, but I've spent a long time establishing my writing style. I don't expect it to change anytime soon, unless of course I come across something particularly inspiring. Which I haven't yet. And Dan liked my poem too, you know. He even told me he was impressed by it.
Natsuki suddenly stands up.
Oh? I didn't realize someone better trying to find a new member, Yuri.
Hey? That's not what I... You're just...
Yuri stands up as well.
Maybe you're just jealous that Dan appreciates my advice more than he appreciated yours.
Huh? How do you know he didn't appreciate my advice more? Are you that full of yourself?
No. If I was full of myself, I would deliberately go out of my way to make everything I do overly cutesy.
Well, you know what? I wasn't the one whose boobs magically grew a size bigger as soon as Damn started showing up.
What?
Natsuki!
Yeah. Hello. That's good. That's a little.
You got crispy. Crispy.
This doesn't involve you, Chris Justin. Taking out your own insecurities on others like that. You really act as young as you look, Natsuki.
Me? Look who's talking, you want to be edgy.
Edgy? Sorry that my lifestyle is too much for someone of your mental age to comprehend.
See? Just saying that proves my point. Most people learn to get over themselves after they graduate middle school, you know. I'm totally talking about my ass.
If you want to prove anything, then stop harassing others with your sickening attitude. You think you can counterbalance your toxic personality just by dressing and acting cute? The only cute thing about you is how hard you try.
Ooh. Roasted.
Whoa, be careful, or you might get yourself on that edge, Yuri. Oh, my bad. You already do, don't you?
Did you just accuse me of cutting myself? What the fuck is wrong with your head?
Yeah, go on. Let Dan hear everything you really think. I'm sure he'll be head over heels for you after this.
Suddenly, Yuri turns towards me as if she notices I was standing there.
Damn!
You know, it's like this because I'm not here to save everyone. That's why. I just want...
So true. She's just trying to make me look bad.
That's not true. Well, okay, that's 50% true, but still, she started it.
Who do we pick? Gonna pick the Yuri
me.
out again?
Hey, very clearly you pick. Maybe.
What?
Oh my god, what is happening? This is so weird.
What?
Ooh.
You can't answer a question you didn't get a chance to hear?
I'm so freaked out by this. Oh my god.
Oh, hi, Monica.
She's controlling all this, probably, right?
Yeah.
Ellipses.
Seems like it.
Hey, damn! Why don't we step outside for a little bit?
I don't like
Okay?
this.
Sorry about that. They really shouldn't have tried to get you involved. It's probably better for us to stay out of this. We'll go back inside once they're done yelling. Some president I am, right? I can't even confront my own club members properly. I just wish I was able to be a little more assertive sometimes. But I never have it in me to put my foot down against others. You understand, right? Anyway, if this makes you want to spend less time with the others, then that's fine. I'd be happy to spend time with you instead.
Suddenly, Natsuki runs out of the classroom. She quickly runs away.
Oh dear. Well, it looks like they're done.
I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it.
Yuri's rocking back and forth in her desk with her palms on her forehead. Yuri,
I didn't mean it.
I believe you. No idea what Yuri might have said to Natsuki. Or did.
Damn. Please don't hate me. Please. I'm not like this. There's something wrong with me today.
It's fine, Yuri. We know you didn't mean it. Besides, I'm sure Natsuki will forget all about it by tomorrow. Completely. Anyway, the meeting's over, so you can go home now if you want.
Yuri looks at me as if she wants to say something. She keeps glancing at Monica.
You can go first, Monica. I'd like to stay a little bit longer.
I'm the president, so I should be the last one up. I'll wait for you to be done.
Well, I'm vice president, so please let me take that responsibility today.
It kind of sounds like you don't want me around for something, Yuri.
It's not that. It's not that. I didn't get much of a chance to discuss my book with Dam. It would just be embarrassing with you listening.
I guess I don't really have a choice, do I?
I'm sorry for causing trouble.
Oh.
Jesus.
Do we want to call it here for tonight?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think that's a
Good spot.
Yeah.
Yeah, we still got a bit left, so.
I'm traumatized. I don't know what's going on.
It's so weird. The eye thing was like, it was like actually really freaking me out. That was very disturbing.
Which one?
Where eye was, I guess both, but like just the eye slowly moving away. It was really freaking weird.
Yeah, it's
like, hey,
oh, no.
what's up here?
What'd you say, Andrew?
It's like, you know, instead of staring, like, I guess it's rude to stare, so like, my eyes are up here.
Yeah.
Or over here.
I love this game just because of the crazy shit that happens in it.
No spoilers though, but I still don't know what the hell's going on.
Is this the first time weird stuff started happening, or previous sessions?
This session was the
Well,
first one where it got really weird.
Yeah, this
Really?
one,
Okay.
yeah, things got weird. Yeah.
Pretty slow start.
Yes, very slow start.
It takes a while, but some of that they put in the beginning so that it adds a little more weight to other things that happen, like the whole thing where like the things that Yuri repeats get funnier the second time you hear them.